Okay guys, this is going to be a customer test video, Fatboy unlabeled 4-pill with sideband delay and biasing on it here for 2879 standards. And we're actually going to test it with one of my favorite radios, one I just did a video on a minute ago, the AT5555 Plus, all the way fully upgraded. Now, before we get into this video, I want to say about this radio, it's not a big powerhouse like some of the strikers. However, I think you guys will be pretty surprised by how well it drives a 4-pill, and it's one of my most recommended radios to use with a 4-pill. That being said, somebody's probably thinking, well, why the heck don't you keep any of them in stock? Well, I haven't had any for a while, but that's going to change. Going to have some ready here pretty soon. So, one of my favorite radios, not because of the power it does. They have a really good sound to them as far as the transmit. They sound like an HF rig on sideband. Their receive is impeccable. When people get these, they get upset because they think the receive's not working just because how quiet it is. Until somebody keys up and you know, about knocks you out of your chair. So, one of my favorite radios. Excellent to run with a 4-pill. They won't overdrive it. You can run your sideband power kind of cranked up on it without worry. You know, as long as you don't get too crazy with it without worry of tearing your amp up. It's a really good combination. So, we're going to test it at 14.8. Generally, most people running these on the base, their power supply is going to run 14.5 to 15 volts. We did test the radio by itself at 13.5, and it lost about 10 watts or so. So it wasn't anything, you know, dramatic dropping that volt or whatever. With that being said, let's just test on the clamp meter real quick. 46 amps worth of current draw on AM, and we've got everything preset. We got a 1,000 watt slug in here. Let's test it on average power first. About 300 average on the audio. Again, that's loafing this 4-pill. Generally max power, you'd say 100 watts per transistor or a 400 average. This is your PEP, audio. Gosh, that's about as close as you can get to 800 watts without being 800 watts. So we're going to call that, what, 785, 790, something like that. Pretty daggum solid numbers out of it, considering what we're putting into it. And I want to point that out. So with these 4-pills, most people are going to say, run 100 watts to 150 watts PEP into them. I generally say 100 to 125. If you're going to go over that, you're kind of in the middle ground between what a 4-pill needs and what a 6-pill needs. So generally, if you go over 125, you know, I have said, you know, okay, maybe 140 watts is okay. But really, over 125, you're kind of squeezing the lemon after all the juice is out of it. These, typically 900 watts is what you're going to see out of these max output. I have had some hot ones in here that would do like 1,000. But again, all things considered, we got a radio that's only doing 80 watts PEP, and we're getting almost 800 watts out of it. You put another 40 or 50 watts in, you know, you're only going to get another 100 to maybe 150 watts out of it. So you start getting that diminishing return. You know, you're kind of at getting the most bang for your buck with this 80 watt radio versus, you know, again, you put another 50 watts in to get another 100 or 150 out. It really doesn't make a lot of sense. Yes, the amp will take it, but there again, you know, you're kind of squeezing the lemon for everything it's worth. Just something to think about. Let's go to sideband, flip our radio on sideband. I don't even know what it does with the RF power set right here, but we'll see how the amp responds. I want to make sure that we're not going crazy on average power first, because average power on AM or sideband is what will lead to your amp being overdriven. Oh, we're not overdriving it, so we can turn our RF power up. Hello. About 300 average on a hello. Let's go to 2 o'clock with our RF power. Hello. There we go. That's more like it. Let's see how much current it draws on sideband. Oh, 50 amps. 51. So we're still cruising this thing. 300 and some change average. Hello, audio, audio, check, 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 audio. Almost 600 PEP on sideband. You say, well, why is it doing less on sideband than what it does on AM? Well, let's just see what our radio does on sideband. Put a 100-watt slug in here. With the RF power set the way it is. Now we're looking at the bottom scale still. Check, 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 check. Audio, check, 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 check. Audio, check, 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 check. Audio, check, 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 check. Audio. That's why. Because with the RF power at 2 o'clock on sideband, we're only doing 40 watts PEP. Now if we turn it wide open, check, check, check. Audio, audio. Check, 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 check. Audio, check, 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 audio. Almost 70. Well, let's see how much the amp will do with that 70 watts on sideband going into it. Back to the 1,000-watt scale. We're bouncing back and forth a little bit here, but I want to be real thorough with this test. Customer paid a little bit extra to have a video done, so we're going to be very thorough with this video. Bottom scale, again, average power, sideband. Hello, check, 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 audio, check, 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 audio, check, 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 audio, audio. So over 400 average there. PEP, audio, check, 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 audio, check, 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 audio. What do you know? Audio, check, check, audio. 700 watts. Current draw, check, 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 audio, check, 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 audio. You see how it bounced up to 60 and 70 amps? That's because we're driving it with more average power. It's not because that 100 watts PEP. It's because we went from doing 300 something average to 400 and some change. Now, probably mine, I'd probably back her on down a little bit just to be on the safe side for average power, but that's neither here nor there. The main thing we wanted to test in this video was not the Quad 5 Plus, rather the customer's amp to make sure it is functioning properly before it ships out. And in my opinion, it is. It's not going to get much better than that with these transistor amps. If you're getting 10 times what you're putting into it, you're doing pretty good, okay? Some of your tube amps out there, you get 20 and 30 times what you put into them. They're a little bit more efficient than what the transistors are. For the HG2879 standard, really, if you're getting 10 times what you're putting into it power-wise, you're on the right track. When you start seeing that fall off to where you're only getting 2 and 3 times the power you're putting into it, you know, especially as far as average power goes, once you start getting that diminishing return, it's time to back it down a little bit and get back down there to where your multiplication factor or your gain factor is about 10 times. All right, guys, I appreciate it. Rooster10, roostercb.com. Let me know what you guys think. Lots of videos coming up. Hopefully some topic of discussion videos, maybe some live feeds. And as always, plenty of radio equipment going up for sale. Got some new additions going to be added to the website, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Thanks, everybody. Rooster10, roostercb.com. And remember, if you buy an amp and you want a video done on it, there is an option to pay for that little test video, just like the one the customer just got here. All right, thanks, guys. See you, bye.